In the ashes of a fractured empire, a new force rose from the heart of Persia. More than 17 centuries ago, a warrior named Ardashir emerged from the province of Pars and challenged the decaying Parthian Empire. In the year 224 AD, after defeating the last Parthian king in the Battle of Hormozgan, Ardashir founded one of the greatest empires of the ancient world, the Sassanian Empire. The Sasanians were not merely kings. They saw themselves as heirs to the legendary Achaemenid Empire of Cyrus and Darius. Their banners carried the symbol of divine glory, and their ambition was clear: restore Persia to the center of civilization. Under Ardashir and his son Shapur I, the empire expanded rapidly. Massive cities rose across the Iranian plateau. Trade flourished from India to the Mediterranean. Persian art, architecture, science, and military power began shaping the ancient world once again. But one rival stood in their path: Rome. For centuries, the Roman Empire and the Sassanian Empire became the two superpowers of the ancient world. Between them stretched deserts, fortresses, and battlefields soaked in blood. Then came Shapur I, a king whose name would terrify Rome itself. In one of history's most humiliating defeats for the Romans, Shapur defeated Emperor Valerian in 260 AD. The Roman emperor was captured alive, an event almost unimaginable in Roman history. Persian carvings carved into stone celebrated the moment for generations. The war between Persia and Rome became endless. Massive armies clashed across Mesopotamia, Syria, Armenia, and Anatolia. Cities changed hands repeatedly. Roman emperors marched east. Persian Shahanshahs marched west. Each side sought dominance over the ancient world. And through it all, the Sasanians built a civilization of astonishing sophistication. Their capital, Ctesiphon, became one of the greatest cities on earth. The gigantic arch of Taq Kasra stood as a symbol of imperial power. Persian cavalry, the feared cataphracts, thundered across battlefields in iron armor. Zoroastrianism flourished as the spiritual heart of the empire. Then came one of the greatest rulers in Persian history, Khosrow I. Known as Anushirvan, the immortal soul. Under his reign, the empire reached new heights of administration, philosophy, architecture, and military reform. Scholars from across the world gathered in Persia. Roads, taxation systems, and state organization became models admired even by enemies. But the greatest storm was yet to come. In the 7th century, a final and devastating war erupted between the Sasanians and the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantines. At first, Persia seemed unstoppable. Sasanian armies conquered Syria, Egypt, and even reached the gates of Constantinople. Jerusalem fell to the Persians in 614 AD. For a moment, it appeared the ancient Persian dream of dominating the Near East had finally become reality. But victory came at a terrible cost. Decades of war drained both empires. Economies collapsed, armies weakened. Plagues spread across the region. Internal struggles and palace conspiracies shattered stability inside Persia. Then, from the deserts of Arabia, a new force emerged: the Arab Muslim armies. At first, few imagined they could threaten the mighty Sassanian Empire. Persia had fought Rome for centuries. What danger could tribal armies possibly pose? But history was changing. The Arabs moved with speed, faith, and relentless momentum. Then came the Battle of al-Qadisiyyah, one of the most decisive battles in Middle Eastern history. Around 636 AD, Sasanian forces faced the Arab armies near the plains of Qadisiyyah in modern-day Iraq. War elephants charged into battle. Persian banners waved beneath the desert sun. Generals fought desperately to preserve the empire. But the exhausted Sasanian state was collapsing from within. After brutal fighting lasting several days, the Persian army was defeated. The road to Ctesiphon lay open. Soon after, the magnificent Sasanian capital fell. Its treasures, palaces, and libraries were taken. The empire that had once humbled Rome now struggled to survive. The last Sasanian king, Yazdegerd III, fled eastward across Persia, trying desperately to rally resistance. But province after province fell. Nobles abandoned the throne. Ancient fire temples were extinguished. Finally, in 651 AD, Yazdegerd was killed near Merv. With his death, the Sassanian Empire came to an end. An empire that had stood for more than 400 years vanished into history. But its legacy never disappeared. Sasanian culture, art, military organization, architecture, and statecraft deeply influenced the Islamic world that replaced it. Persian identity endured. The language survived. The memory of the Shahanshahs lived on in poetry, legends, and history. Even centuries later, echoes of the Sasanian world could still be seen in empires from Baghdad to Constantinople. Because although the empire fell, Persia itself never truly died.